Okay, we're live.
Okay, I just started recording. I'm Maddy.
I'm Ryan, and welcome to Insomniacs in the morning. Morning, morning, morning.
Morning.
I need to sip
Sunday,
this coffee.
Sunday, Sunday. It's not Sunday.
And may the 4th be with you.
Yeah, it's Star Wars Day, which
Are
means
you
every website in the world is going to be writing about
right?
Star Wars.
Like, there's already flash deals on Amazon. Are you a Jedi or are you a Sith?
I guess I'm a Sith. This is a cool thing. One of my coworkers went to Disneyland and got me a lightsaber, and I was like, surprise me, and she got me the Darth Vader one.
Really?
So yeah, she got me a Darth Vader lightsaber. Do you want me to go get it? Do you want me to show it to you?
Yeah. Oh, show it
Okay.
off.
Okay, bye. I'm leaving the show.
Yeah,
to
seriously.
Get a lightsaber.
All of our viewers are like, what is this shit? So, I would explain why I am a Sith Lord, but I'm not going to do that until Maddy comes back. There she is. Well, sort of. Okay, there we go.
So,
hooray!
It makes noises. Can you hear that?
Oh, that's awesome.
So when you move it, it goes.
Yeah, that kind of looks like the one Caro has. You know, she has the blue one though. She has
Luke's. It can like collapse inward. But it doesn't go all the way in. It just goes this far in.
That's
anyway.
So you said like what?
The way that I got it is really funny too, because my coworker came to PAX East and she doesn't live here. She lives in California, and she was like, "Let's hang out during PAX East. I'll give you your lightsaber and like, also hang out." And I was like, "I can't because I'm working on an album the entire week of my
forever."
Life. And she was like, "Well, I don't know how to get you your lightsaber then." And I was like, "Okay, well, I know some game developers who are at PAX right now. So can you just and they're going to be at Indiecade next weekend because they're touring their game. So can you just give my lightsaber to them and they'll give it to me?"
My God.
And that really happened. I IM'd my friend Arden, who made a game called Vader
God.
And Jessica gave it to Arden. Except Arden wasn't there, and this different girl, Christine, was there, and Christine Love had the lightsaber and then gave it to Arden, and Arden put it in their backpack and brought it across the state lines to me, I guess. It was amazing. So basically, you know how Rey's lightsaber goes on a journey?
Yeah.
That was what my lightsaber did. It was that, except the Sith version of that, because I'm evil. Anyway, then it meant that I had it indicated and I could play with it throughout the day, because I didn't get it until Sunday, and that was also the day of my panel, which went pretty well. Anyway, that's what's going on with me.
That's a good story. I was saying that I'm just a Sith Lord because I don't politically believe in what the Jedi have to say.
I don't either, actually.
I don't have a cool lightsaber to show it off like you do, but
well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm so cool. I can't believe
that's true. I just can't even keep up.
Last night you were like, "Let's talk about Star Wars," and I was like, "Well, I have nothing to say."
Oh my God. I like you said that, but immediately you're like, "I have a lightsaber."
I forgot about it until last night, and I forgot to tell you that I was going to show it to you on the show, and I also forgot to put it in the room. So really, I'm clearly not on top of things. But anyway, I have a lightsaber, so that's pretty fucking cool.
I would love the one that Kylo Ren has. See?
Yeah, I don't think they were selling that one yet when Jessica got
probably not. But now apparently that's a standard lightsaber, because I've seen other people now.
I'm sure it is. But when they were selling these ones, I didn't even know about Rey yet, or I probably would have asked for Luke's lightsaber, I guess, because that would be cool. But
I don't know.
But at the time, it was so long ago that I don't think The Force Awakens had come out when she was going to Disney. And she was just like, "Which one do you want?" And I was like, "Honestly, I don't relate to any of the Jedi, so I really don't even care."
So she got you Darth Vader's.
Yeah, which is the person I relate to the most, actually. Darth Vader just kills everybody, which is me. So
okay, good.
No,
I honestly
I don't relate to him killing a bunch of children. That's
no, but you know what? You really have you watched any of the Clone Wars, the TV show?
Mm-hmm.
With Anakin in that, because that's when I sort of understood what his character was supposed to be, because it didn't come across in the movies.
So well, the prequels make him so evil that it's ridiculous. he just kills so many people that it's like, well, now he's irredeemable. What? Why are you doing this? Anyway.
But as it turns out, after watching Clone Wars, I just really hate Yoda. So anyway, lost all my followers. Bye, everyone.
I'm kind of with you on that because like a lot of the original I can't even remember the word, like teachings. Yeah, let's go with teachings of the Jedi. The like light side is like, don't have any emotions, don't date anybody, don't care about your friends.
Right,
like,
that's what I don't like about it.
That shit is bullshit. That's like a really bullshit thing to be teaching people.
Well, they're like don't feel any emotion, and any emotion leads to the dark side. And if you are part of, if you feel anything at all, if you do anything wrong, you're quickly ostracized by the entire Jedi like cult, and you're kicked out like immediately. Like that's fucked up.
Yeah, and like the implication that like positive emotion somehow isn't.
Okay, there is now a giant. I don't know what's happening outside my window right now.
There's like a lot of sirens. That's the Jedi police coming for you. Obi-Wan is gonna dash in there with aviator glasses on and arrest you. I
have no idea what's happening outside my window right now, and I can't even get up and look because it's across the room.
If you want.
Well, we'll see if there's more. Watch there just be like sirens for the rest of this episode. We're like, good show, guys.
That's actually kind of concerning because there's probably like a fire across the street from you, and you're like, I have a morning show.
I know, right? Okay.
There's not really anything you could do to help, even if that were the case, though.
I know, right? Well, I'll just be like, I don't know, walk through the fire. I'm a Sith Lord.
And, like, look at it. That's what people usually.
All right, hold on. I have to look. Hold on.
Ryan's going to go look. Look at his cute little action figures. What are those things called? They're like those figs that have a really big head and a really tiny body. They're so popular now. I don't understand why. I mean, they're cute, but like, people are weird, you know?
Good news. The only person that's on fire is me.
Okay. Did they all go away? What's going on out there?
It's at this house that's 2 houses down from us. That's what I thought it was going to be. It's there's always like fire ambulances and like fire ambulances.
I like how I didn't even react to that. Yeah, there's always fire ambulances.
There's like this house down the street that once was like had smoke billowing out of it, and then like there's this guy that's like always going to the hospital. So like I don't know what the hell is happening there.
Perhaps he's a mad scientist.
Maybe. I don't know what's happening. What is going on with this morning show? I need more coffee. I'm gonna drink this. But tell me. So you got to tell me about Robot Nights because backtracking a little bit, you threw it in there very casually. Like you're like, I was recording an album, but anyway, lightsabers. So you know, I know.
Let's be real, the lightsabers a lot more exciting, but also I'm recording an album.
It's true, and honestly, I don't know a lot about what's going on with that. Only because the only times I've talked to you about it, you're like, I'm not sleeping. We've been recording until like 2 a.m, and I can't sleep, and I have a ton of work to do. And I was like, okay, so how's it actually going?
Non-stop. It's going well in the sense that I think the song sounds very good. So we recorded one song and it's a single and it's going to be available to stream on the campaign page when it goes live. And we're launching an Indiegogo campaign a week from today. So on this show, I'm going to be like, it's live! Like next Wednesday. But anyway, that's next Wednesday. So we were recording one song and there's going to be like a way for you to stream the song. I think it's just going to be on YouTube. I'm not sure how we're going to stream it.
It probably is going to be streamed like via SoundCloud or something.
I think so, but the album art is really fucking cool. So maybe
I know. I'm not supposed to know about it, but I do.
Ryan it. I showed Ryan what it looked like because I was just really excited.
A crush on her album cover.
It's pretty fucking cool. So anyway, the song is Werewolf on the Dance Floor, which we've recorded before. So people might be like, well, what's so great about this version? Literally fucking everything.
You're just gonna be like, well, for number one, it doesn't sound like it's like shitty and it in the bedroom
for
somewhere.
Number one, you can hear every instrument at the right volume. Like that's a cool thing. And like that's not even like the half of it. Like we have a professional audio producer who's like mixing everything so that it actually sounds really good. there's like effects on different parts. We added in some like extra guitar like flourishes. I would hesitate to call them solos, but
There's
like,
also Maddy who transforms into an actual werewolf.
oh yeah, everybody transforms into a werewolf over the course of the song. We added that technology, and there's just a lot more stuff. Like we had more time in the studio because we were staying there until 2 a.m. every night to like add in extra shit and like layer more instrumentation into the song to make it sound really full and awesome, and like, I don't know, it's fucking rad. It sounds so good to me. And I really, really enjoy hearing it. And it's so anyway, we finished that. We also like recorded a campaign video, which meant that like everybody in my band had to memorize lines. And like, I love my band, but let me just say I'm way better at memorizing lines than they are, because that's something I have a lot of experience with. So for my 2 lines, I did them in like 2 takes.
Of course. And also it's 2 lines. Like, it's not.
I know! And like everyone else, I love them, but they were like, okay, wait. And like had to do like 600 takes, and I was like, I'm gonna die here in the studio, and we're never gonna finish this video. So I hope people really appreciate how much work went into this campaign video, because every shot where Zach or Dan is looking at the camera was painstakingly. Like every time they like say a sentence,
please
while
tell me
looking
it's
at the
like
camera.
it's like, I don't know, something like, yeah, that really seems like a great idea, Maddy.
No, they're great at like acting. They just couldn't remember the lines, so they'd just be like, "The robot knights are so excited to show you what we It's like, oh no.
Oh my god.
Whereas for mine, I would like paraphrase things or whatever.
Well, this makes me excited to make you a music video later. So
for a music video, you don't have to memorize any lines, so that's way fucking easier.
You do, but that's okay.
That's not a problem. I already know the lyrics to my own songs. I wrote them.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, you're also like the singer, honestly, so you should know what they are. Otherwise, you're showing up to a show and you're just like, it's like all this build up.
Anyway, I'm trying to remember what else we did all week. Oh, we like wrote a bajillion newsletters. Everybody's gonna get annoyingly newsletters from me, and I'm really sorry in advance, but the studio made us do it. There's like 6 newsletters spaced out over the course of the month-long campaign.
That's great.
You're gonna get a newsletter, Ryan.
That's fine.
Excited.
I'll probably read it, but I think most people won't even notice it's there, because who fucking opens newsletters anymore?
No one. But you might want to open these ones, because there's a different photo in every newsletter, and we went and got professional photos taken, and they actually look pretty good. So
that's true. They do look really good.
Really good.
I was trying to help you pick them out, but I like showed up too late. So
I know, but also there were so many. We don't have to get into that.
No, we don't.
But Ryan was helpful marginally when it came to picking out the photos.
Well, I just started like yelling, like not even angrily. I was like, "There's so many," and you're like, "Ryan, that's not a helpful comment."
I was like, "Ryan, are you gonna help me or not?" And you're like, "I'm busy." And I was like,
I was like literally like, "Okay, I'll do it now." You're like, "Well, we already picked them," and I was like, "Oh."
It's okay. I really don't expect you to help me with this. So also I had to go to Indiecade, but I don't know if I want to talk about that yet, because I've been talking for like what feels like 1,000 years. Indiecade was great though.
Well, you already started, so you may as well just say that you went to Indiecade, and I know that you went there with Todd.
Pretty much me hanging out with Gita and Todd for like 3 straight days. I mean, there were other people there, but like, who cares?
I'm a little jealous I got to see Gita, so.
Yeah, it was really fun. And there was like at least one night when Gita went out partying and I stayed home and like went through all of the photos to pick out the 5 professional photos we needed for the newsletters.
Okay, wait.
So like there was boring shit that I had to do too.
Was that Saturday night when yeah, it was Saturday night when I messaged you and I was like, "Hey, Maddy, I'm finishing writing the script." And it was like 3 a.m. and you're like, "Well, I'm picking out photos." And you're like, "I'm glad that like everyone else is out partying and you and I are like staying home on a Saturday night to work. Like, what is wrong with us?"
Well, but it wasn't going to get done. I was like, I don't have any other time to go through.
Well, that's what happened to me
photos and pick 5 of them. I don't.
I was literally writing at like 2 in the morning, and Ben had to get up and go to work.
Sorry, fine. Okay, so Ryan sent me a Geno script at 3 a.m.
Don't worry about it. But the point is that like I'm like tiredly like I couldn't even like see the screen anymore. But it's like if I don't finish this, it's not gonna happen. Which is, and it's not because of like it's like once when you get in the writing high, you got to keep going, which is one
I know
thing.
exactly what you mean.
But
You're
also
I just gotta
like
finish.
yeah, and in general, whenever I have anything to work on, like it's like I feel like the best hours for me to do that are at night, and it like consistently is always that way. And it's only because like that's when everything else calms down, including the dog, like, you know, because she's all hyped up on energy all day. So
yeah, plus like Ben is asleep, so you're like, no one's gonna interrupt me. I'm just gonna write forever. Look, I've been there, man.
yeah, I know. I mean, like that's it doesn't help that we're like nocturnal anyway. But so like that's what
I
happened
really
with
like
that.
writing at night, and I do kind of miss that I can't do it anymore for work. But instead, I've decided to record music at night until super fucking late.
All right. Okay. So with Indiecade, you were on a panel, right?
I was on a panel, and we mostly talked about, you know how in Street Fighter there's that costume design for Ryu where he has his shirt off.
Yeah.
And everybody calls it Hot Ryu.
Right.
We talked about that for like an hour. And like showed a bunch of pictures of him.
See, I just wish there
was
was more shirtless characters.
It was a little more intellectual than that because we were like, you know, usually sexuality is expressed in like a subject and an object, and like usually the woman is the object and the man is the subject. And,
but
like,
at least, but with this, it's been Hot Ryu. So
yeah, but with this, like Hot Ryu sort of subverts expectations, but like the marketing doesn't really address that. It like treats it like a joke as opposed to something that somebody would actually be attracted to. And also, I would say that like treating attraction as only subject object is like really depressingly reductive. And ideally, both people would be subjects. They would both be like actively engaging in sexuality together, and they both be like consenting to it, as opposed to one person is just the passive object that's fucking sitting there and like not participating and like perhaps even reluctant to be there. Like a lot of times like in porn and like ads and stuff, the woman is like very like, oh no, I secretly hate this. Like,
yeah, and that's weird.
That's like something that's sexualized, which is really fucked up. And like she has to be like very passive and reluctant. Like a lot of video games pick up on that. Like they'll have the camera be looking at the woman and she'll be like, oh, don't look at me, camera. And like it's just like a really fucking horrifying way of approaching sexuality. So we talked about that, and like that was the like intellectual part of the panel, but we also talked about like men in games that we have a crush on, which was really fucking fun. And like it was like me and Gita like telling a million jokes, and like Dante and Todd like also telling a million jokes. Like I was like, maybe Dante and Todd are gonna be the people who are serious, but like no one was.
I mean,
then, like, it was really, really fun, and I think there is a recording of it, and I don't think it's going to be out for a really long time, but when there is, I'll send it to you, and you can enjoy it.
That sounds great, and honestly, a good panel is when it's fun and a lot of jokes, but I mean, it sounds like you did touch up on the subjects you wanted to talk about, and
yeah, like we tried to actually be like, don't approach sexuality in a horrible way.
Right, but then, you know, I'm glad that you managed to approach that subject and also keep it lighthearted, it sounds like, which is hard to do. So,
yeah, a lot of people did say that they had a lot of fun at the panel and like also learned something. And I'm like, great, because that's exactly the balance that we wanted to strike. Because like ideally talking about sex should be fun and lighthearted and like not horrible for everyone, but also like it's good to address like why it's generally talked about in a bad way.
Right.
Where like other people, I don't know, as long as everybody's consenting, it's cool. That's true for everything.
Basically, what needs to happen in Street Fighter is that Ryu and Ken just need to make out already.
I mean, like, that's that on the panel. I was like, okay, first of all, Mika and Nadeshiko are dating, and second of all, Ken and Ryu are dating.
Also, Cammy and what's her name? I can't. The one that they like really sort of subtly like be like.
Oh, and the new one where she's like kind of in a relationship with one of the other dolls. Also, that's like really fucked up that M. Bison just brainwashes a bunch of 16-year-old girls, and he's like, I'll have them in my army. But also, M. Bison always seemed really gay to me, so I'm like, I guess it's fine. I don't think.
I mean, my impression of M. Bison was not even from the games, because like I played the games before I saw the movie in the 90s, but in the 90s I was just sort of like, M. Bison and Guile seem like they're about to fuck at any second, and I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, all the characters in Street Fighter are gay. That's really canon.
Yeah,
it's just
completely.
Canon.
Yeah.
everyone's gay and having sex with each other, but for some reason the game doesn't include reference to any of that, which is very weird. I hope they add that in.
I was thinking about this the other day, and this is not about them being sexualized, but did you ever read the Street Fighter comic that came out like 10 years ago? It was
I've only like seen it because I've read all the Street Fighter.
It's really good. And I kept on
wikis. The wikis, they have like pages from the comic and like references.
Yeah. You should read it. It's really good. It's a really good retelling of like the entire series. It's pretty short too. I think there's a series of graphic novels. I think they did motion comics and they're up on like Hulu now or something. So like if this is great for you because you can just put it on in the background and listen to it.
Yeah, there's like animated movies too, which are like a separate thing. And
yeah, I've seen most of those too. I don't know why we like Street Fighter as much as we do.
Because it's really funny and like fun. I don't know. I think it's the same reason why I've been really liking rereading old comics, because it's like really basic stories, but like really charmingly told.
Right.
And I mean, that's just like humanity, man. I don't know. Anyway, talk to me about your vlog. Ryan's launching a vlog, you guys.
I am. Well, because I mean, first of all, nothing exciting has happened in my past week. Because I mean, first of all, I talked about all those shoots I have, but then this is the interesting thing. I was trying to tweet about it, but I couldn't figure out how. Number one was that whenever you have a bunch of shoots and you travel a bunch, it's awesome and it's great. And then like the following week, you do nothing but edit it. Like there's nothing else happening in your life. So that's sort of like the flip side of this type of work. Is that one week it will be crazy and the next it will be totally normal.
Or like boring even because you're just sitting at a computer.
Right. So anyway, so that's the first thing. But I've been ominously posting about how I'm starting a new project this month, and I've decided that I was going to announce it here on the show because instead of just tweeting it out randomly. So yeah, I am starting a new vlog, which you and I have talked about a little bit. And the trailer is launching today. It's actually up on the website, which is on YouTube. It's called Follow the Sun. That's just it. It's completely about sort of like life. It's 3 minutes a day every day. I don't want to be totally immersed in like other vloggers that like vlog all day and then like also have
editing.
10 minutes.
That's a lot of editing too.
Well, that was the first thing too, and also
even like 3 minutes a day is like a lot.
Yeah, and also like I feel like people get tired of me when I was vlogging with the old crew of me just waving the camera around in their face all day. Where like this is going to be more refined to just like the day and also doing something new and adventurous every day because it's going to push myself forward to do new things every day and also like not get stuck in the basic pattern of doing the same thing every day and the motions of just like getting up, going to work, walking the dog and all that stuff. Because that's the point of it is it's supposed to be me getting myself out there. It's supposed to be about promoting positivity and just sort of like positive vibes. And
I mean, like, this is so funny to me because I feel like I already see you doing new things every day.
I mean, you do, but like
you're already doing this.
Right. Like, that's true. But like sometimes like, when I'm feeling depressed or whatever, which like is something that happens to me a lot, I don't realize like how much I'm doing. And when I was vlogging previously with the old crew, I would always sort of like rewatch and be like, wow, I did a lot that day, but like I don't remember that way until I watch it. And this is sort of a positive way on myself and for others to think about like, okay, this is how to live life at your fullest and like push yourself to do the things you don't want to do because you're like worried about like money or whatever. And it's like that's not really a feasible, but like you could still get out there and do things.
Like you do stuff that's free all the time because you don't have a ton of money right now. So like you go hiking a lot or like just go explore places that are free to look at and like that's cool. And
right. And there's also shit happening all the time. And it's like you just sort of have to get up and leave your house. And so I'm trying to do it as a thing that inspires both myself and other people to get up and do things. And I'm keeping it short specifically because like I know that asking somebody to watch your life every day can get boring and monotonous if it's really long, and that's why I'm like it's short, 3 minutes, maybe less.
I feel like there might I was gonna say like there might be days when it's 1 minute, right? I mean
depending on what happens, like if it's just like fucking raining all day, but
it's like it's raining.
I know. So anyways, I'm launching the actual vlog at the end of the month, but it'd be super awesome if everybody can sort of go to the
it's on
YouTube
Atomic
channel.
Production, right?
No, it's on a separate channel because I don't want it to weigh down on the Atomic Blue stuff. Because I don't, I feel like that will just sort of like get really messy quick. So it's on a separate channel called Follow the Sun. The trailer's up. You can go and subscribe to it now. I'm going to be posting about it like throughout the month. I think I'm probably going to actually start it on the weekend that we have the whole X-Men Apocalypse thing happening.
Oh, awesome. So
yeah.
the first video is going to be us.
No, it's not good. It's going to start before that.
Oh,
it's probably going to be like the Thursday or Friday because I'm thinking about going to see Lacuna Coil on Thursday night. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, I know. They're going to be like playing free at Mohegan Sun. So I was like,
so of course you're gonna go. Every
right?
single time any band plays free at Mohegan Sun, Ryan Pagella is there.
Well, that's because they like are doing this thing now where they're like,
I
here's
know,
all the bands you listened to 10 years ago, and I'm like,
should fucking sponsor our show, given how much we talk about the free shows at Mohegan Sun on this show. Because you're
I go and spend money there. Like, I definitely go and like drink the beers and stuff.
Well,
so
yes, but you probably spend money on beers, which is how they get you.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, well, also like gambling. I didn't
that.
hear you. Sorry.
That's okay. But yeah, so
gambling.
I'm excited to do this. It's going to be really positive, and I'm if you guys can check it out, that'd be really awesome. And just sort of like subscribe and you know watch.
You can have the video version of being Facebook friends with Ryan, which is looking at. It's about the
ranges,
the mountain ranges, and the puppy that he has all day.
Yeah, if you like dogs and animals, there's going to be a whole fucking lot of that. So
yeah, you can just watch videos of Lyra like every day. Honestly, that sounds great to me. That's literally what I already do with my life. So
it's funny too because I keep going back and forth, and I'm like, oh, is this something I really want to do? Do I want to share this? And I'm like, no, do it. I'm excited. The next day, I'm like, huh? It's like that's the problem. I mean, that's sort of what I'm pushing myself with this to do is to be less anxious.
You don't have to share everything. Like, it's not like you have to share, like...
Yeah, I'm going to share myself taking a shower and, like, brushing my teeth,
I don't know. I kind of had that question, too, about, like, you know, how much of my personal life do I want to share? And I have
what's going on
delineation of, well, yeah, or, like, at work, like, if I'm writing a personal essay, or even here, where I'm like, well, what am I going to talk about? Like, how far deep into the depression hole am I going to go?
Right, and so that's sort of like what this is going to break. Hopefully, we'll see. It definitely keeps me positive. You know that even before vlogging, like our entire lives, I used to make home movies, just carrying the video camera around back when we didn't have it available on our phones, you know? Yeah,
but also you didn't edit those, so there's a lot of footage.
Well, okay, that's a whole nother thing. Hopefully, I'm going to translate a bunch of that shit to like the computer. We'll do more throwbacks like we did with Demon, because there's more movies of Maddy and I doing stupid shit. Do not worry.
I don't know if people are like excited for that or not.
Okay, Demon's like at 1,000 views, so
honestly,
like
we give this shit to them whether they want it or not. We don't give it. We don't give a crap if you want to see it. You will.
Yeah, you'll be like, Maddy and Ryan are so cool. I wish they were still teenagers, and I'd be like, no, you don't.
Sometimes people do say stuff like that to me.
Wait, hold on. So speaking of being teenagers and being super goth, I've been watching Penny Dreadful, and I'm going to talk about it for like 2 seconds, but it is really good. We're on season 1, so like I know everybody's watching the new season, but I'm watching season 1, and it's really fucking good, and like it's very gothic. Not goth. There's a difference between goth and gothic, and so it's very gothic in the sense of Victorian, very monsters with like black clothing and lots of like dark camera angles. Like,
what is it about? I literally know nothing.
Okay, it's literally like a retelling of like every single like supernatural story that you've known forever and have been super silly. So like Frankenstein, werewolves, Dracula, Dorian Gray, like all that stuff. Bride of Frankenstein. It's all in there, but it's all like really subtle, and you don't know what it is until like it's happening. You're like, wait a second. So like
it's like this is the real version of
so that's really cool, and I fucking love it. And there's a bisexual werewolf in there, so
sold.
I know.
All right. Also,
I mean, like
the picture of Dorian Gray is like a cool book. It makes no sense.
No.
But I enjoyed it in college.
Anyway,
Oscar Wilde rules.
That's true. We need to move forward though, because like we're gonna do that thing where we talk about everything for 45 minutes and then you race to work. So let's not do that.
No, I'm sorry, but I'll try to watch Penny Dreadful. It sounds really fun.
I absolutely recommend it, and you would probably really like it, Maddy. Honestly. So.
Okay, I'll check it out. Well, tell me your workout tip.
I didn't have one today, so Ben told me to do butt exercises.
There's so many. This is such a vague workout tip. I know a million butt exercises.
He gave me 2 yesterday. The first one was where you lie on your back and like squeeze your butt muscles as hard as you can until it lifts your body off the floor.
Back? Oh, okay.
Yeah, like lying straight against the ground. and then just holding it and then squeezing it even harder and harder.
That
Because you want
sounds
to make your
hard.
butt. It is hard. Ben kept on being like, he was showing me, he's like, squeeze it harder. I'm like, I can't go any harder. He's like, oh, that's why your butt needs to get better. And I was like, this is hard. It was also like 11:30 at night. And then there was like another one that this is actually a yoga thing, which I don't think he knew, but you know, you get on all fours, like, you know, on your hands and knees.
I keep thinking I know what you're gonna say, but for all I know, it's a completely different exercise.
No, and then you lift up your leg, like all
back
like,
of you.
yeah. But you want that muscle. You want to feel the muscle in between like the back of your knee to your butt. That's sort of the muscle you're going for. Which like it took me a few tries, but I mean, it was definitely a super yoga move because I've taken yoga like a couple times before, and like that's something we've done. So, you know.
Yeah, there's also like you do that and you just hold it for a while. I have a video that's like that, and it's so hard.
It really is.
All of the moves where you just hold it for a while. You could put planks down for mine. Have you ever done planks?
Yes, and they're really fucking hard.
Yeah, it's basically just like I'll put planks. It's basically just the position that you are in to do a push-up, except you just stay there. You don't ever go down.
Okay. Ben just messaged me. He goes, do you guys actually do it? He goes, have you guys stopped actually doing the exercises on the show?
Now I can't fucking do the ones that we're doing.
No, I can't either, but I got my weights here, so I will do that. But the only way I could do it is if I went across the room and angled the webcam down, and that's like a huge pain in the ass.
I can't do a plank right now. But you know what? You can fucking tell Ben. I went to New York City this weekend and I walked everywhere. Like to a point where I think I like hurt my knee for a little while because one of my knees really hurt when I came home, and I was like, I may have walked too much.
I don't know. That might have been like you were wearing the wrong shoes.
Yeah, I think so. But it was more like, you know how when you're at a convention, you just naturally are like, I'm just going to walk there. And like, before you know it, you've walked forever. And you're just like, well, I guess. And also, I probably didn't eat enough food, which was bad. Well, I don't know, man. Anyway, the point is, I basically treated myself like I was on some sort of cross-country walking trip while I was at Indiecade because, I don't know, I fucking killed it.
I mean, why not?
Also, and then I came home and ate a cheeseburger.
That sounds delicious, and
it was great. I had a cheeseburger and a salad for dinner last night. It was fucking good.
Okay, so I just want to let you know that Mary Ellen at the beginning of this, like 20 minutes ago, tweeted at both of us a bunch. It said, guys, the reason that Jedi philosophy sucks so bad is because it's a highly flawed interpretation of Zen Buddhism. It makes me so angry because Zen Buddhism is cool and George Lucas can suck my dick. And then she sent a picture of Finn and Poe making out.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, Carrie Fisher actually talked about this a little at that talk that I talked about ages ago. Where she was like saying that Jediism was like an interpretation of Buddhism and a bunch of other religions, and she was like, I literally don't care about this, and like made fun of it the entire time because it's Carrie Fisher and she rules.
Right. She doesn't give any shits.
Basically, it kind of seems like George Lucas read a little bit of philosophy and was like, I get it, and then just like kind of made some stuff up, I guess. And like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I have read about Buddhism, and honestly, I don't think that the Jedi philosophy has a ton to do with at least what I've read, but I'm not an expert.
I mean, I've been reading a lot about like Zen stuff.
Yeah, but you
like I've gotten into that.
Like,
yeah, and I was gonna say, and also like, you know, I don't. It's so vague that it's really hard to like. I mean, like, there's basic concepts that make sense. I don't know. It's like there's so many interpretations of it, like all religion, you know. So it's sort of like, which version are we going with here?
Not part of our culture here, so I think it's probably more understandable if you grow up with it and you're like part of a culture that's like actually teaching it to you all the time. But here we don't have. Buddhism isn't as popular religion in the United States. Like here, it's all Christianity, and like honestly, that leaks into like a lot of our culture. Like the precepts of Christianity. Like a lot of stuff that we do in the United States revolves around feeling guilty all the time.
I know, it's
because of a lot of Western religions where we're like, you deserve to be in pain and like feel bad about yourself.
Yeah,
and like, then you confess to things and you'll feel better. Like a lot of like stuff revolves around that. Guys,
that's one of the many things wrong with our current society. But we will not get into that because like that's a whole slew of politics. Yeah, everything's great. I'm starting to vlog like
ever.
Everything's gonna be
fine.
an album, whatever.
Yeah, just support rock and roll and like Ryan's
Vlogging,
vlog and like hiking. Just listen to music and go hiking. Don't worry, the world's fine.
Actually, that's not a terrible advice that you're giving right now. Is like listen to good music and like go hiking. Like that's great advice to make yourself feel better. Actually.
I know. I was like saying it jokingly. Like,
I know you were like sarcastically being like, "Go out there, I guess, listen to music and hike." And I'm like, "Wait, that's good advice."
Theoretically, I don't think it's great to like ignore the world around you. Like, but also sometimes if you are powerless, it's good to ignore the world around you because then you aren't going to feel depressed about it constantly.
Pretty much. All right, want to talk X-Men for the 18th time?
Are we seriously talking about X-Men again? Okay.
Oh my god, there's been like a whole bunch of I don't even know if I should talk about the cameo. And first of all, they're announcing.
I really don't think that's real, by the way.
No, but for sure that there's definitely a cameo of it on a record, and I don't want to say who it is, but like they've already started talking about a super popular 80s X-Men that may be making a cameo in this movie.
Right? You're like, I don't want to spoil it.
And I haven't spoiled it for him because I think he'd be super excited, but he may already know, so it's Dazzler.
It's like all over the internet.
Yeah. But she's not the only one they showed. They showed the Blob, and now they announced that there's like 6 like unnamed other mutants in this movie. So I'm like, how many characters are in this film?
Oh, it's just gonna be cameos in the background, kind of a thing. Like,
yeah, that's fine with me. That's still better than Civil War, where they try to make them all main characters.
Yeah, like they don't all need lines. That's too much. It's gonna be like walking around the school hallways. Like you'll see, you know what I mean? You'll see somebody doing their powers in the background. That'll be cool, but it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna.
I'm okay with that. Also, we didn't talk about this because the trailer came out while we were like having the show last week and we couldn't do a live reaction. Wolverine's at the end, which, okay, I don't know what's happening, but I'm cool with that. But also that trailer was fucking awesome. Like, it was really good. And I was like, oh, there we go. Because like the second trailer, I was like, this is just the same trailer as the first one, but like in different orders.
But also, I still really wanted Jubilee to like
do something. Stuff. I know. Play at the arcade. Which they like last night, Ben's like, did you see this arcade thing? And like at midnight, they posted this promotion that's like 80s arcade games for X-Men. Mm-hmm. And they're all like really ridiculous and really great.
Ryan is obsessed with this.
I am because
in your mind, you're like, what if X-Men was an 80s VHS tape and it was 80s? And I'm like, well, I mean, I guess that would be cool. And you're like, no, this is how it
Let's go to Savers and pick one up. But it's called like the Spaceport Arcade, which I know is in the movie because like I saw promo images of them hanging at the mall. So I'm like, is Jubilee going to play these at the arcade at the mall? Because my life will be complete. I will need nothing else. Like as long as I see Jubilee playing a arcade game, that will be like the joke that I'm making my entire life.
The arcade games that they're playing are like about mutants though, which is like really weird within the universe of X-Men because it's like, well, wouldn't that be considered like a really bad influence?
I don't know. It's like everything's been reset now. Like, so I don't understand. We're going to find out. I guess we're going to figure out how things are different now since they reset the universe in the last movie. And this is
I'm pretty sure that like societal discrimination against mutants is still going to be part of it.
Probably. I mean, that's like a huge
part of it. Take that out. Be like, actually, no, mutants are cool now. Everybody loves them.
I don't know. So I'm excited. I'm just really excited for this because every single time they show a promo image of this, I mean, of course, they've always been super excited about the X-Men films, but this one's set in the 80s. I'm like, the X-Men works so well when it's in the 80s or the 90s because it just like it matches. They're actually wearing their costumes because like that's
pretty much everything in Marvel in the 80s was cool, which I can now definitively say because I've been reading all these 1980s Marvel comics. But it's like so fun. And it makes me really sad that the new movies are like grim and dark and like
they're not okay. I don't even know if they're like that dark. They're just explosions for 45 minutes. Like,
and I know everybody loves Winter Soldier, but it's like it's so dark. And I'm like, it'd be nice to have at least a little bit of the carefree. I mean, that was what I told you about the trailer. I was like, there's finally jokes in it. Thank God. I really want there to be jokes in this movie. Like, I want them to be like they're teenagers. Like, the X-Men should be having fun together and like being genuine friends.
Like the X-Men is like, I mean, the X-Men is probably the darkest of all the Marvel lines because it deals with like a lot of real politics in there.
Yeah, but like Jubilee's always been lighthearted and like Wolverine is funny.
They like always have like little quips where they're like I was reading one comic where like Polaris is in a bar and Quicksilver's like, hey, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, are you going to go psycho again today? Like, you know, because she is like completely unhinged. But like, it's very much they always make fun of themselves a little bit. And that's sort of exactly what you expect of like mutants, is that they're like, okay, well, we're out of control, but we're also fighting for our rights here, you know?
Yeah. And they're also like, you know, making fun of their mutations and stuff. And
yeah, which is exactly like what we do.
What you do. It's like what you do if you're, you know, in that position. You'd be like, well, you know, I'm discriminated against, so at least I'm going to like try to laugh about how shitty my life is.
I mean, that's exactly what it is. So I'm glad that they're making jokes as well. Also, okay, last point on the X-Men thing, you are totally on board with this, is that all the stuff that Olivia Munn has been saying in the past couple of weeks has been fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'm so psyched to see her in this.
Yeah, I didn't really know much about her previous, but like the more I read about her, the more I'm like, she's fucking awesome. Yeah, she's really cool. Like, she's very.
I lectured Ryan yesterday about how cool I already thought Olivia Munn
know.
was. I was like, listen up. Here's how cool she is.
So liberal, number one, and also she like also doesn't take shit from anyone. So like, I guess she was
I love it.
cast as Deadpool's girlfriend initially.
And she was like,
and she turned down the role. Yeah, she was like, this is a damsel in distress role. I refuse to do this. And then when she was offered I know, we were like, that's exactly what that character is, which is too bad for Miranda Bachman.
And I said this to you yesterday, but I feel like she probably read it and was like, I'm going to hold out for a superhero because...
Yeah, that's what she said. And then also when she was offered...
She got it. She's going to be Psylocke.
Which is great, too, because she initially didn't even take that role because she goes, okay, so is Psylocke going to do something in this movie, or is she going to be a pretty face? And they were like, well, and she's like, if you want me to play this part, you're going to give me a version of the script where Psylocke is fighting people because she's like one of the strongest fighters of the X-Men. She goes, I know because I read all the X-Men comics with my family growing up because it's something we all did together. So I was like, that's awesome, number one. She also cosplays. She's not very good at it, but whatever. I mean, like, she's still doing it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
still doing it, yeah.
Like,
she's great, and I just think it's really cool that she doesn't take shit from people, which is what I was essentially saying to you. Like,
oh yeah.
Even if I didn't agree with what she says and does, I just think it's really cool that she's just like, well, fuck you. I'm gonna keep doing what I want to do, and I don't really care. Thing that
she said, she had lost 30 pounds for this.
Because she like put on a bunch of muscle for
she said it. She was like, I wasn't doing it to get skinny. She's like, I did it so I could be a good fighter. So I went and took a bunch of classes to learn how to be Psylocke, which was not something they prompted to her. They didn't tell her to do that. She was just like, I'm gonna be Psylocke, so I'm gonna take a bunch of martial arts classes and figure out how to do this. And she's definitely not somebody who's thin either. She's curvy and like still super hot and like, you know.
Yeah, Ryan's an expert on what women are hot, but yes,
I know. I'm sitting there like, you're like super hot.
She's really hot, and I don't know, she looked great anyway. I mean, she looked fine, but I'm sure she like added muscle on and stuff. And
I think she did a bunch of her stunts in this movie too, which is also really cool.
Yeah, there was some controversy with that where she like said she did a bunch of her stunts, and people were like, actually, she's being mean to the stunt doubles who did work on the movie. And like everybody was like, okay, well, have you pointed out like all the male actors have also said the same thing, and like you haven't been nearly as whiny about it? Like there was some whole fucking thing. It was ridiculous. Like, yes, give stunt actors credit. That's great. But also, like, do you know how many guys have been like, yeah, I did all my own stunts and nobody fucking cared? I don't know. I mean, like, Olivia Munn is not a perfect person. I just think, like, the scrutiny on her is ridiculous.
I agree with you. I'm just impressed with her right now. So I'm a fan. I've been a fan of her for a while. I just think she's really cool, and she does so many different kinds of things. Like she does comedy and acting, and like now she's gonna be in an action movie. Oh yeah, and she was talking about how she wants to start directing and producing because she wants to be on the other side of the lens.
This started because you were like, she wants to start being a director and a producer, and I was like, yes, she would be great at that because she's already done so much creative work already.
Yeah, like she also is like, because of like all the problems she's faced as being somebody who's sort of like not given roles because they're like, okay, well, you're a woman, so do this, and she's like, let's change that. So you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, she would probably make a movie where the women actually got to do something.
I know, right? And I think that's awesome. I think she's very impressive and worth. idolizing, you know. So
yeah, she rules. Do we want to talk about Civil War at all, or do we want to just kind of move on?
We can talk about it briefly.
I think I'm going to see it this week.
I'm definitely going to see it this weekend too. And so we can definitely review it
next week.
Yeah, I guess I don't know.
This is all just rumors. Like, we don't know.
Yeah, I like how we know for sure that Wasp and Captain Marvel are not in it, and we could go on forever about that because now that you're reading the 80s comics, like,
I mean, we've talked about this on literally every show.
I know, it's just
every single show we're like, why doesn't the Wasp get to do anything?
It's not even that.
It's like the theme of Insomniacs in the morning.
Although I guess there's going to be more Scarlet Witch in this upcoming movie, so we'll see. I've heard nothing about Black Widow. I don't really like Black Widow in the comics. I like ScarJo's Black Widow, but like, I don't find her a very interesting character.
She's like kind of made Black Widow into an interesting character.
That's what I mean.
There's not a ton there, which is like sad, but whatever. It's its
I
own
guess
problem.
You know what's funny is that everyone, you know how Twitter keeps doing the hashtag Team Cap or Team Iron Man or whatever, fucking like, you know, I just keep on being like, stop making me choose because I don't really want to join either of these teams. So I just been going like
bad. It's like team capitalism or team globalization.
All right,
so I don't like
thinking,
either of those things.
Right, so I keep going, it's Team Jessica Jones, which I'm not the only person saying that. Like, there's plenty of people. Like, I thought it was being original, but that's like already a hashtag because people are like, we're sort of on Jessica Jones' side here because she's like the best superhero in the Marvel universe right now. So
she's pretty rad. Yeah. Although I would be Team Wasp if there was a Wasp.
Me too. Absolutely. Since she's the one that's run the Avengers the most.
Yeah, that's why they're so fucked up now because she's not there to be like, excuse me, Iron Man and Captain America, shut up.
I know, like super sassy, and then she puts on a really fashionable outfit and walks away to a luncheon.
On a magenta jacket with like huge shoulder pads, and she's like, "Excuse me, I'm in charge." I fucking love her. Anyway,
all right, we don't need to talk about that.
Do you want to talk about these last two things, or I mean, we're already like almost we're running out of time.
I guess I could quickly say that the absolutely fabulous the Ab Fab movie is coming out, and they finally released a trailer, and it was funny. Maddie's not into it as I am. I wasn't really into it until I met Ben. But
this is like sassy and funny. You're a gay guy who's over 35.
I don't even know if I want to like. I was gonna say I don't even know like who am I explaining this to. I realized I put it on the list, but it's like nobody knows what it is unless exactly what you just
unless
said.
You know what it is already, and you're already.
And I can't even like describe what it's about. Like that's the sad part about the show.
Women
it's like
shooting the shit together and being drunk.
Yeah, that's exactly. I guess so.
It's fine. I'm not like a huge fan of it, but I know it's like a really big deal for some people.
Yeah. And then the other thing we were talking about was Give Elsa a Girlfriend, which is a hashtag that has started right now, which I didn't even know about until Maddy showed it to me.
Like everyone I know has mixed feelings about this because like everybody's like, well, it's fine if Elsa's single, right? But other people are like, Elsa should be gay. And I don't know. I don't know agree really with both sides of that. Like, yeah, like it's weird because it's definitely one of those situations where I'm like, it would be really cool if Elsa was gay and like dating somebody. That'd be fucking cool. But
yeah,
I like it's the cool argument that she's not dating anybody.
I know. I like the argument that they don't have any princesses to look up to that are like dating other princesses. But I also like our friend Katie's perspective that cool she's like
a princess that's single, which is what Katie said.
Yeah, which is exactly what Katie is. She's she's dating somebody now, but it's still like she's like, basic. I don't know if we're ever gonna move beyond this part. So
yeah, and like it's fine if you don't get married. Like that'd be rad. If I mean, that's something to look up to as well. So
that's sort of why she's obsessed with Elsa because of that reason. So
that's awesome. But also like I kind of feel like if they're gonna have gay characters, they should make a new movie that's just about that. And like
that's sort of how I feel about it too. I'm like
hire writers who can do it right and like really
and not make them the villains. That'd be nice too.
Yeah, there are already plenty of gay characters. They're just all the villains, so it's like, fine.
Yeah, like Jafar, Scar, the guy in fucking Wreck-It Ralph, like. Oh
obviously gay. Anyway,
Ursula, this is really bad. We have to get off the subject now.
Okay.
All right. Let's do some reader mail.
Okay.
There's not as much this week.
That's probably for the best because we don't have any time.
Okay. We have an email from Mariel, and this isn't really a question so much as a suggestion. But she said, I missed the show this week because I decided to sleep in today, but I was catching up on the new episode and I was inspired to send in a workout tip myself. As someone who has a history of lower back pain, I was given a set of exercises by my doctor that is supposed to help out. and it has in my experience. The simplest to describe it is where you plant your back against a flat wall with your feet about a foot away from it or so. Then you slide your back down the wall until your legs are somewhat bent at the knees. At that point, you hold the pose for 6 to 10 seconds and then slide back up the wall all the time, keeping your back straight. Repeat that about a dozen times each day. Obviously, it won't work for everyone, since I was given a range of exercises to try and see which ended up working well for me, but this one significantly helped the lower back pain I experience. Thanks, and I love the show. Keep it up. So first of all, thank you for being so nice about the show. That's awesome. And then secondly, I actually do an exercise that is literally that, but without the sliding. But it does make your back feel great, and it also works on your butt muscles. Fun fact. So
you have your legs at like a 90-degree angle to the floor, and you just sit there. It's called a wall sit. So
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and like look at a picture if you want to like better illustrate what this exercise is, and you can just sit there for 30 seconds. If you want to really work out your thighs, that's like a really intense way to do it. Or you can do.
We're just talking about butts today, Tina Belcher style.
Yeah, and if you want to do this version, I guess it also helps your lower back, which I didn't know. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think the point that she made is that it doesn't necessarily help your lower back, but it can, because everybody's bodies are built differently.
Go to your doctor.
Yeah, because they're going to be like, here's 12 exercises. Tell us which one of the 12 actually works for you, so.
Yeah, and also they're going to be able to like look at your back and be like, these are the specific problems that you have that need to be addressed.
I mean, there's that too.
Which this person probably did because their doctor gave them these exercises.
But I mean, it's good advice. And it also, if you don't have that issue, you can use it for the exercise motion as well. So it's a good tip,
Cool.
Then we have another email from Taylor that says, "Hi, Maddy and Ryan. This week I've been thinking about adaptation, X-Men. After spending some time in a job that just isn't working." Oh God, this already sounds like Mary Ellen. Mary Ellen, is this you? I'm considering my next move. It's hard to know whether I should take some time to learn new skills, find a new position, or just shift to a different field altogether. How have you two adapted career-wise over the years? Has it been a logical progression, or have you made major shifts? Thanks, Taylor.
This is like giving me anxiety just to think about, because like this is like such a fucking hard question.
It really is, and like I've been all over the place with like
there's
job
no
experience.
Right answer too. Like you and I have both been through many times when we've been like, I guess this job fucking sucks. I mean, like my shitty advice is that usually I wait until it's completely unsustainable. Like I've been in multiple situations where I've had like a job I really didn't like and like worked there for like 9 months or 6 months. And then usually the job gets to a point where somebody above me at the job either says, "Okay, Maddy, like it doesn't really seem like you like it here. What's the deal?" And then at that point I'm like, "Oh, I'm quitting." Like that's what happened in both of those cases. Like I waited until somebody finally intervened and was like, "You seem deeply unhappy with your work here." And I've been like, "You're right." Like I've never like taken initiative and like quit anything. I'm like really terrible at that.
God, I mean, I'm terrible about that too. But I think what I've done is that when I start reaching that point at a job that I don't like, I start looking around at other jobs.
Yeah, which is a good thing to do.
Yeah, it is. But the problem is that I've never been in a position where I found another job that I would rather take, and I've done interviews while I worked at other places, and
but I'm the same way. Like I've never actually managed to line up a next job. I've never done that successfully.
And some people could do that. I don't understand how, but I think it's
luck. I think it's just luck if you happen to find the right
career
job.
field, because you and I are in a very specific set of career fields. However, I think the important thing that you need to think about when you're looking at other jobs is that no matter what job you go to, it's about the skills you attribute to each job. Because for me, I've been all over the place. Like right now I'm running a photography studio, but I've also been in like marketing, and I ran a convention, and I also did like healthcare for a long time and retail. And in all those positions, I always was boosted up to a manager position. Like I've always been in management, whether or not that was the intention.
But like even if it didn't start out that way, they're always like, "Well, Ryan's great at managing, so let's put him in."
Right. And so like it doesn't really like you are going to, it's like whatever skills you have, you're going to attribute that to any job you're at, and you may as well try and find something that you want to be doing that at. So I mean, think about that, and think about
think about what you actually enjoy doing every day.
Yeah, exactly. Because that is what you can then take those skills and put them into. So like right now I'm in a position that is sort of like on the rocks a little bit because like everything changes every day. But like,
but that can be great for you because you like having a situation where every day. Like for your personality, that works really well. So I don't know. I mean, that's kind of cool.
I think it is a tough question, but you know, like think about you and what you want, and don't get into the monotony of doing the same thing every day. I think you have the right idea of trying to get out. So
yeah, I actually like in general, if you feel like it's time to leave, it probably is. That's true for like things in life. So I would say the part of it that's tricky is like, should I take a class and learn more skills, or should I get a job, different job? That's not really something that we could answer for you. It really depends on what kind of thing you want to do. But
and also
there are a lot of really cool classes out there. I'll say that, like especially if you want to learn like how to code or whatever.
Yeah,
like
I was gonna say it's really important to understand that like it's 2016 now, and the way that things used to be 20 years ago has changed and is changing. And even though like people used to go to school and be like, okay, I went to school, I'm gonna do the same thing for the rest of my life, it's not that way now. It's okay to be interested in like 500 jobs and do them over the course of your life because you only get one of those. So
no, that's definitely true. And also there's so much free education available too, like on YouTube. Like I taught myself how to use Pro Tools entirely from YouTube. And like I thought about paying for an audio production course for a while, and eventually I was like,
you didn't,
I don't need to.
Right. And so like I think it's important to just embrace all your interests and do all of them. So like don't feel like you have to be doing one thing for the rest of your life and have to adapt in order to be happy.
And don't feel like you have to pay for school or like go back to school for a specific thing. I don't know. I'm always harping on that because I think people get ripped off when they go to college a lot of times. So.
I do too. I think sometimes you do need it, but a lot of the times you don't. So it depends on your situation. So
absolutely.
All right.
So think about that.
So thank you.
Good luck.
Yeah. One more email, and it's from the anonymous Mary Ellen. Guys, this morning a guy who works here walked by my cubicle and said good morning. He said nothing to me. Or sorry, she said I said good morning, and he said nothing to me.
Cool.
And just now he approached my coworker in the next cubicle over and said good morning and asked her how her week's going. I think I'm going to fight him. Can either of you cover my bail money right now? Yes, no. I hate working here. Kill me.
Ryan can't, but I can. And don't worry, Marilyn, I'm on the way. Just if you need one phone call, you have my number.
Okay, I like how this question is there. She goes, should we have uploaded the Team Sexy Bay montage to the Atomic Blue channel because like no one was watching it? Yes.
We can still do that, right? We can upload it there too, right?
Yeah, that's true. We can still do it. And she also says, I'm in love with a gay Canadian stranger on Twitter. What do I do? Anonymous, Mary Ellen. Well,
what gender? I mean, are they a lady? Because then I think you can date them.
No, it's a man. Wait, what?
Well, then you're fucked. I like how I'm like, yeah, go ahead and date her. What? That sounds fine.
I like how everyone just
I should probably be like,
Marianne like constantly has to deal with the fact that everyone just assumes that she's gonna date a woman.
Well, I mean, maybe I just really want to date Mary Ellen. Why
maybe
are you dating me?
I want to date her too, but that's not going to work out for sure. So
okay, well, one of us can date Mary Ellen, and it's more likely that it'll be me.
Probably. Wink, wink. All right. We have a throwback written on here, but we don't really have a lot of time. So what we're just going to say is that Dragonball Evolution is a terrible movie.
Oh my God. Can I just quickly say the screenwriter for Dragonball Evolution like came and apologized publicly to people?
Yeah.
Even though that movie came out 7 years ago, he was like, I'm so sorry that I wrote a terrible movie. And I don't even know why. Like there was some sort of context, like it came up with
I don't know. I guess people like, keep on yelling at him about it.
I reviewed this movie for the Phoenix in 2009.
I know, I saw it with you, so you could review it for the Phoenix.
Ryan and Rye, other Ryan.
Don't get confused.
Saw it with me, and I think somebody else was there. Possibly Katie was there. I don't remember. And like Ryan and I had seen Dragon Ball, and we were like, listen up, this is why it's different. And you guys were like, why are they talking throughout the movie?
I mean, you guys were like really, I mean, it wasn't a good movie anyway. I think really stylistically it was really interesting, but like it wasn't a Dragon Ball movie. So
no, well, it kind of was. I don't know. There were like similarities, but it was like, what if Goku was a emo teenager?
Oh my God, that's right. I forgot about that because then I wrote a parody. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. We wrote a parody of Dragon Ball set in the Geno universe.
We're not going to get into that right now.
So that was really funny. And I'm kind of sad that we can't actually do anything with that because nobody would get the reference if we
Yeah.
did it.
It was like,
Dragon
it was
Ball
really
movie
obscure.
isn't
Oh,
popular.
It was, I recall it being sort of like this weird emo kid set in a cyberpunk universe. And I liked the cyberpunk aspects of it, but that was about
Those
it.
are like the Dragon Ball aspects. Like Dragon Ball is a really cool like cyberpunk meets medieval fantasy kind of a universe, but it's like, you know, Asian medieval fantasy. So there's like,
Right.
you know, ancient warriors and shit, and it's cool. And there's dragons. It's
and
very
also,
cool.
Was it James Marston or Marster?
Marsters.
Yeah.
There's the other James Mars.
Yeah, seriously.
James Marsters was Piccolo, I think.
Yeah,
I think Piccolo was in
that
he
was
movie,
Piccolo.
which is
That was
weird.
it was really weird. And then also the girl that was playing Bulma actually did a really good job of being Bulma, if I recall that. She actually did her research.
Like, the problem was that none of the writing like really had to do with the show. So it was like it wouldn't have even really mattered. Do you know what I mean? Like it was just random shit. Like just random shit was happening. And it was like, well, all right.
There was a lot of correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that wasn't a primarily white cast. Like Goku was, but I don't think the rest of them were.
No, it was like half and half. They had like some Asian characters and some white characters, which was weird.
Still more than Ghost in the Shell.
Well, mostly what was weird about it, I mean, this is actually like a bigger problem with adapting anime, which we talked about on the Ghost in the Shell episode, which is like so much about Dragon Ball has to do with Asian culture, like inherently, like the stuff they refer to.
So regardless if it actually is happening in Japan or not.
Well, but I think I mean, you assume it is just based on those cultural things. And so then when you try to put it in America, you're like, well, I guess I'll just change everything about how these characters talk and behave and like
change the entire universe.
Yes, and like it literally doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? Like the idea of like everything, just all of it is like, what?
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
So I mean, some of the characters are white and some are Asian because it's in America, and so like that was kind of how they adapted it.
I don't recall it actually being in America either. I think they made up a place.
Oh, possibly. I thought it was like at a high school in America. Like the fact that it's in a high school is already.
I know that's like not correct, but at least they did have a giant fight at the desert at the end. So I mean, that did actually happen. So
that's true. It only made the similarities more weird.
It's a weird movie.
Get drunk with your friends and watch it.
It's like literally no, seriously,
just watch it.
It is like $1. You can buy it for like $1.
Yeah, like it's actually really funny. So if you want a good thing to laugh at with
well, it's funny as in like you're gonna make fun of it.
Yes, it's so bad it's good. That kind of funny.
All right, let's wrap up and do some recipes. So we don't leave at 10:30 this time. So this time we'll start with Skye as usual because she's sort of our leader in the recipe corner.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Oh, wait, I should say that I'm now Skye. I like to start talking.
And now in character as Skye.
So she writes, all right, so instead of a full-fledged recipe, I thought I'd just have a little tip for things in general. If you're making something fried, instead of just using flour along with spices, try crushing some cornflakes and adding them to the mix. It takes a lot of texture and a little flavor. Also, in light of election news, here's another cooking tip. You can cook beans right in the can over an open fire, but please remember to open the can beforehand so it doesn't explode from the pressure when heated.
That sounds terrifying.
I like how that has to do with the election.
Everything does.
It's very dark. Joke time. That wasn't even the joke. Why was the programmer happy to see a xenomorph? She was glad it wasn't just another bug hunt. Oh my god.
I would never be happy to see a xenomorph.
First of all, I know, right? But I like that was clever. That was clever. It was easy. I like that she's made them super dumb for us.
Kind of. There's like a play on words there.
Yeah, there's a play on words there. Because technically, xenomorph is supposed to be like a giant bug. But
yeah, they kind of are, but they're also aliens from Alien.
Also, you know what are giant alien bugs? The ones from Starship Troopers, which I actually prefer those movies over.
That movie's great.
Movies. Yeah.
I haven't seen the other. There's more than one Starship Troopers movie, right? I haven't seen
but they sort of get more ridiculous as they go along.
Because it doesn't really have
I really hadn't seen a lot of them until Ben was like, we're going to sit down and watch all the Starship Trooper movies
I
and
would
the new
think you
ones.
would love those because they're like a
No, they're
parody
really-
of exactly the thing you.
Oh, no, I know. That. And when I watched them, I was like, oh, this is great. It's that director that does all those like fucking crazy, weird movies. So
It's funny because I think the book is actually like not satirical, although there have been arguments over the years about whether or not it's satire, but the movie is. The movie's like making fun of the source material, which is really funny. And
oh,
weird.
shit. I didn't even read the last part.
Oh,
here.
shit!
Skye put a parentheses, keep your head on a swivel and watch your 6 out there.
Watch your 6. Game over, man. Game over.
Oh my God. All right. So I guess, do we have any like cooking advice that's like not necessarily a recipe, that's like just a smart tip?
Huh.
Actually,
don't know. I've talked about the cast iron a lot on this show, but we used it again last night, and it's awesome. I can't talk about that again though because I've already talked about it. I cook a lot of stuff in a toaster oven. That's a great tip. Instead of like turning the oven on, instead of turning the oven on, you can just like make food in the toaster oven. If you don't even have an oven, you can do that. I used to do that in my old apartment all the time.
Well, you used to have a tiny apartment, so I mean, I'm not surprised about that.
Well, but also like
your toaster probably had more room than your oven did.
Actually, my old oven was really tiny.
That was years ago. That was like 10 years ago.
Oh, well, that apart. Okay, what are we talking about?
I'm talking about the apartment that you were living in like 2008 that had like a huge kitchen, but the oven for some reason was the size of a miniature cabinet.
I don't think you've even... I was talking about a different apartment I lived in that I'm now realizing that I don't think you ever saw, that was
the one that was in the
smaller.
basement that nobody came over to. Yeah.
Well, some people did.
Not Ryan.
You didn't. Ryan never saw that apartment, but it was tiny. This is boring as fuck.
Okay.
All right. So like I'm always making chicken nuggets in the toaster. Zach makes them in the microwave, but if you make them in the toaster, they get really crispy and awesome. That's what I do. Chicken nuggets are great.
They are really good. Even the fake chicken nuggets, those are really good too.
Yeah. If you're Ryan, then you have fake chicken nuggets, and they still become really crispy and awesome if you cook them in the toaster oven. Yeah. And it takes longer. I will say that. It takes longer. But it's worth it.
I'm trying to think if there's any like good healthy substitute I use for things, but I can't think of anything. The only thing that's coming to mind right now is not that at all. It's just that like I'm thinking about when you cook eggs, like you can use butter, but like, and that's normally what I do use, but like, you know how it always sticks to the pan when you do that? If you use like vegetable oil or like any kind of oil, that usually keeps it from sticking to the pan for whatever reason. It also makes your eggs fluffier. I don't know why. Fun fact. Yeah.
I don't know if I believe you.
Yeah, I've done it before, and for a while I cooked eggs that way, but I really liked it with butter instead, so I don't do it that way.
Yeah, I mean, Zach is like a butter person, and I used to always eat Smart Balance, which is like that fake olive oil butter, and it's okay. But now I've like completely transitioned back to butter, which is horrible.
Also, putting a little milk in your eggs makes them fluffier, by the way.
Fine. Yeah, that's true. Everybody knows that tip, though, right?
And one more tip. Well, actually, a question for you: how do you make your grilled cheese? Do you just throw it in the grill and do you put the butter like on the pan, or do you put the butter on the toast and then flip the toast?
I don't put the butter on the toast. I put the butter in the pan. I melt the butter.
That's what I do too.
Toast and cheese in it, and then
Yeah, that's what I do too.
Push it around in the
but I didn't even think about doing it the other way until I saw Carla doing it. She's like, "This is the way I always do it." I'm like, "There's another way." So
that's hilarious that you didn't know that. My dad does both. He puts the butter on the toast.
That's too much butter.
Pan. I know.
That would kill me in 2 seconds.
My dad fucking loves butter. But I think it's like Smart Balance when he does it, but I'm still pretty sure.
I mean, that's still a lot of Smart Balance.
My dad is a very healthy guy, though. So
I'm
not making fun of you, Dad. You're doing a great job, but damn, those grilled cheese sandwiches.
All right. I guess we should close out. So,
okay.
First of all, thank you for watching. I'm like looking over here for some reason.
You're like, bye. I'm already checked out.
I know, right? Thanks for watching, guys. Please follow us and give us a subscribe here. And also subscribe to our main channel, which is Atomic Blue Productions. And we always put like a clip there once a week, along with all the other bullshit that we make. And hopefully Gino one of these days. And please go subscribe to my new vlog channel, which is Follow the Sun. I'll put all these links in here later whenever I can. And give us support there. You can follow Maddy and I on Twitter at Dr. Yoshi2 and Samus Clone. And then you can follow more of our shit on Atomic Blue Productions on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yeah. And
That was good.
Atomically
I said that pretty
Productions-
clearly. I usually trip over all that because there's so many parts to it, and I'm like, and Pinterest.
Also, if you want an audio-only version of this show, it's on iTunes.
Oh yeah, that
You can
too.
subscribe
And it's
to
also
it.
up on the Atomic Blue Productions website.
It is.
So-
And also the Atomic Blue Productions YouTube, unlike this YouTube, has like very shortened versions of this show. So there's just like the best 5 minutes from every episode. So if you
Yep.
want to watch that, you can.
And then also, what was I going to say? Send us reader mail and topics, and we obviously read them on the show. So email us at insomniacsinthemorning@gmail.com.
Just be
Yeah.
careful to spell it right, because that's a lot of words.
Yeah, and
Anyway.
also, yeah.
Bye!
Bye, everyone.
Bye for real, though. Bye.